So according to this week, Nintendo is not planning one direct for this month, two directs for February 2020 week. Nintendo is believed to be planning to hold two Nintendo Direct presentations in February 2020, according to the latest leaks. Nintendo are rumored to be holding not only one but two directs. Sources have been made that by Nintendo, one big Nintendo Direct claims the new directs will take place ahead of the Animal Crossing New Horizons. The news is highlighted by Rika Sabi, who said friend Zippo has leaked the news from the Nintendo Direct as well. So basically, Zippo is the leaker here. Sabi is basically the messenger saying, "Hey, this week is out. There's this week here saying a Nintendo Direct is coming out. There's two Nintendo Directs." It's obviously the reliable friend of mine, Zippo, has been claiming the two Directs were both for obvious reasons. His tweet from Sabi grew a screen grab of Zippo who are online. It said, "Oh, right then, might as well let it out." And one of them will be about Animal Crossing New Horizons. February 20th, stuff for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Other broadcasts will be a popular Nintendo Direct. The last has been since September. Anticipating is high for the next Nintendo Direct, seen as a quite been a while for the last big Direct for the Switch 2020 release schedule. Ever since the Switch launched back in 2013, House of Mario has released a plenty of exclusives to game is happy, of course. 2020 will get slightly better. Crossing Zero Chronicles, and of course the Pokemon, Mystery Dungeon remake that's coming out as well. You forget that game's coming out? Wow, wow. Express Squad. I thought you guys were smarter than that. That game's coming out. But has been wave, Nintendo has a number of exclusives up to three are planning on announcing the next Direct. It has been thought that Breath of the Wild 2 is the big Nintendo Switch exclusive of 2020. That Breath of the Wild will be coming to the Switch in 2020. Probably has previously said the plan. But Breath of the Wild was coming in 2020, but recently the weekends with actually revealed tons of E3 announcements before it was officially made. Open the door for Breath of the Wild 2 coming out later. Today, Sabi posted Breath of the Wild 2 is taking longer anticipated pack E3 2019. It doesn't seem that this year to be this year's big holiday release. To add more credence to May the title, I was up for season on the tweet other day. Not here is that zone or make some sort of tires. Hinting that Mario Kart 9 will be replacing Zelda Breath of the Wild with this year's big Switch release. If that's the case, maybe Nintendo will be use the upcoming Nintendo Direct to announce Mario Kart 9 reveals 2020 release date, which is another week there. So it's 2 weeks in one. 2 weeks in one. Okay, you know, and there's other recent weeks as well. A number of unannounced Nintendo games are on the work. Paper Mario, as soon yeah, these are some other older weeks as well. Some Wii U ports as well. The Metroid game and the Paper Mario game. So we'll be covering 2 weeks in one. So Nintendo Direct, two Nintendo Directs are coming out in 2020, February 2020, according to Sabi and Sippo, his reliable friend Rika as well. So and Mario Kart 8 may be coming out in 2020. It's pretty soon, considering that Mario Kart 8 has been out on the Switch for a fair amount of time. And people have been speculating that Mario Kart 8 might be the only Mario Kart game. I think that the Nintendo Switch will probably be getting major games for the next 4 years. I think Nintendo will probably want to hold on to this console for a while. The only other console Nintendo holded on for a while is the NES, as well as they kept making games for the NES until like 1995, I think. And the NES started getting games in 1983, and they were literally making games for almost a decade, more than a decade. Okay, and the Super Nintendo came out like in 1990 or something like that, and it started playing games in 1997. And the Wii was 6 years, and Nintendo Switch is in its third year, I think. So the Wii got 6 years, the DS had 8 years, 7 years, the 3DS had 9 years, I think, and the Wii U didn't have that long, so the Wii U had it's 4 years. So I think the Switch is gonna be around longer than people think, because the Switch came out in the middle of a console cycle, and I think that by the time Switch came out in 2014, it was in the middle of a console cycle. And I think the Switch will be around for 3 more years longer than people will think, because the Switch was released in a cycle. I think Nintendo will want to release the next console around the other two consoles. So I think Switch will be getting games for a long time, and that's basically it. Goodbye.